Good evening, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes, I'm sorry for the trouble. Actually, while registering, I was having a lot of issues. It says that the link stopped. Okay, now I am here. I'm sorry. So let's begin.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. First of all, I want to introduce sir, you. Sir, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Actually, your video is not visible.
Yeah. Just open the video.
I can't see anyone. Okay, ma'am. Please wait.
Yeah. I think it's all right now. Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I have opened the video and audio is also okay. Am I audible? Video is on. My video is on. I don't know what happened. Okay, I don't know what happened. My video is on. I'm just sending the picture to sir. Actually, what I don't know.
Sir, in audio no problem, but video not clear, madam, sir. Audio is no problem.
I don't know, sir. I'm just on it.
Okay, sir.
I already sent you a link. I mean, a photo. I don't know what is happening.
Sir, are you listening me?
Yeah, yes.
Sir, can you share your PPT? Actually,
Yes,
can you share your PPT?
Sharing, no? I'm just sharing. Yes. Is it visible now? We just started.
No, sir. Just a minute.
I think I'm just trying. Is it okay now? Is it visible now? My video is also okay now. All right. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. My video is also okay now. Yeah. Now let us come to the formal, then I'll do it.
Yes, sir. Your video is visible, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Continue. Actually, I just a minute. I want to introduce, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Just a minute. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to introduce our resource person, Dr. Samir Babu M, Associate Professor in Jamia Millia, Islamia, New Delhi. Dr. Samir Babu is Associate Professor in the Department of Adult Continuing Education and Extensions. Earlier, he has ICSSR Impress Major. He had been awarded with the prestigious Shastri
Sir, you're not audible to me. Is it is my problem or hello?
The audio video has frozen, sir.
Okay, okay,
We can only hear Mr. Samir. We cannot hear sir introducing.
okay, okay. The same to me, maybe. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank
sir,
you
thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Yes, yes, yes. There was a.
I was audible.
Yes, yes. Okay, okay, sir. It was nice. I
Okay,
think
okay.
so. General information is enough. It's we are already late. I'm so sorry for the trouble. That was not intentional. Okay, let me
Yes.
come to directly to the part. Am I right, sir? I'm coming to
Yes,
that.
yes,
Because
yes,
all
yes,
are
yes.
waiting for the thing, and I'm sorry that something has happened technically. I don't know what happened because I was something issues of entering. Okay. Yes, come to the assignment given to me. It's about the speaking about the teaching experience, teaching and learning experiences, why it is significant in terms of colorful experiences in the classroom. Is when I come to the teaching learning, we know that all the time teaching has its own significance. Doesn't matter what kind of interactive platform we have, what kind of what we call it as the advancement in terms of technology, whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it's augmented reality, virtual reality, any machinery or a machine driven or technology driven platform we have, doesn't matter, teacher is ever time significant in the context. In the educational context, without teacher, I believe that it's not possible to do anything. Maybe the name of the teacher varying, like the mentor, facilitator, or those who are the supporter, those who are, we call it as various names for the teacher in the modern time because of the technology and the advances. See, when we are talking about the advancements in the technology, when we have learning management systems, when we have artificial intelligence based systems, so where the content come from? Definitely, it is required very rigorous effort of a content developer. That is what we call it as a teacher. The teacher role is developing like a designer, instructional designer, content designer, learning experience manager, or we call it as it's a facilitator in all the flipping or blended mode. So whether the methodology or the pedagogic modality changes, but teacher, we cannot replace the teacher. It's still an anxiety among all the teaching faculty that whether we will be replaced, whether the job of the teacher will be removed, vanished. This is the all the time questions. But actually, as with my limited experience in the educational researchers and the teaching learning process, so with my limited 10 years of experience, I can tell you that never ever we can replace a teacher. Teacher is always a teacher and always teacher is in demand. And the teacher's role is updating. If you are not updating, if you are sitting without any progressive mindset, you are simply sitting idle without any progressive movements, yes, it is for you. It is a threat for you. If you're updating, if you are following the technology, if you're updating in terms of the modern developments or the day-to-day developments in the teaching learning process, no one can erase you, no one can remove you from the scene, because we have to be updated. We are updating our mobile phones. New versions of the apps are coming. The WhatsApp is being reinstalled, WhatsApp is being updated, Facebook is being updated, Gmail is being updated. So we ourselves have to update ourselves in terms of the skills, in terms of the competency, in terms of the proficiency, handling something, in terms of the what we call it as exposure to technology, that a teacher has to update himself or herself. The updation matters a lot. Now, when we come to the meaningful teaching learning experiences, we know that when we talk about the Indian classrooms, where, say, for example, it's a kindergarten, or it's a primary classroom, secondary classroom, higher secondary, or even in the professional education, we have more or less similar kind of attitudes. We can find the similar attitude among the teachers of different levels. So still, even in the 21st century, we are going to the mid of the 21st century, we are in 20s, still we have a mindset of the kind of bookish nature, or kind of the transferring from the head of the teacher to the students, a kind of the so-called banking system we still practice. I'm not generalizing it. Still, many of the teachers practice the banking system of education, even in this 21st century, then 2023. So they have a misunderstanding that I am everything, I know everything, and students are not exposed to the fields of knowledge. Actually, when we look into the mindset of the students, I'm not talking about the 100% of the students, but around 60% of the student, or say, for example, 40% minimum we take, they are having lots of exposure in your classroom. If you are teaching 50 students, definitely 20 of them are having all the capacity to search for the information. You are not at all required for at least that 20 of them out of 50, that is 40% of them. They don't require you as a figure in the classroom. They can manage their content, they can manage their videos, they can understand how to write the exam, how to prepare for exam, how to manage the affairs of the classroom, assignments in terms of evaluation. All these are very clear. So the role has to be updated. That is the only thing in terms of the meaningful and rich experiences. How can we give experiences in a richer manner? So when a teacher is entering into the classroom, just think out of the box. What can I do for my students? Whether the day-to-day lecture of 20 minutes or 40 minutes of your class time, if it is an hour in higher education, we definitely have 35 to 40 minutes or maximum 45 minutes of lecture. Then we'll have a 15 minutes of interaction for attendance, for submission of assignments, directions, some interactions with students, some of the other activities of initial introductory remarks. That will take your 15 minutes hopefully. So rest of the 45 minutes or 40 minutes, definitely this is a core of your class. If you are giving a simple lecture to the students, I can tell you, definitely they will not listen to you. Initially, for the sake of listening, they will be standing or sitting like anything, attentive. They are pretending to be attentive in the classroom. Actually, their activity will be something else. Their mindset will be somewhere else. Physically, they are in because of the punishment or punitive nature of the teacher, because of the traditional authoritarian nature of the teacher. They will be attending your classroom. But at the same time, their mindset will be somewhere else. They don't want a long lecture from you as a teacher. They need colorful of experiences. They'll be murmuring like that. Okay, Byju's is giving this, like Vedantu is giving this, Oda class is giving this. So why are you just making this effort to give us just making the situation troublesome. You are giving nothing for us. That is the mindset of most of the students. I'm not talking about everything, because we know that some of the very specific programs we need some specific lectures. At the same time, some of the classes, like say for example, you're teaching history, you're teaching English language, you're teaching political science or psychology, many of the classes you get very wonderfully edited and narrated, or we can call it as an animated classes. Lot it is available in the market, maybe free of cost, sometimes it is payment basis, but the condition is that they are available on demand. Whenever you are in need, it is available. So they are not at all interested in listening to you as a teacher. Here is the matter. So the teacher, as a teacher, we have to think what I can give to my students in terms of experiences. So as a teacher, I can tell you that half of the time you can spend for the lecture maximum, not more than half of your lecture time. Please never ever dedicate for lecturing your content. Segregate your major content, give some of the fruitful activities where you can have a participation of the students. That is actually required, even though it is primary class or till higher education, you can practice that only. See, we are talking about the outcome-based education these days. We all are talking about outcome-based education. People still have a misunderstanding that through lecturing, through the traditional way of lecturing by the teacher, that is now it is supplemented with PowerPoint. So if we are doing all these exercises, we have a viewpoint, we have still a kind of consensus that, okay, it's very good for the students, they are attentive. It's actually when you discuss the matter with your students, you can also have a survey with students, just an open forum with your students, whether they like it or not. So next day when you do that, you will definitely realize that. So my students, they started saying, sir, why are you just lecturing? Please give us some engagement. It's okay, we know that. Why are you teaching all these? So sometimes if you give freedom to the students to respond to, definitely they will tell you these kind of exercise. They are just fed up, because when we talk about the new gen learners, they don't want the sitting inside the classroom. They need activities, they need engagement.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, your slide is not moving.
No, sir, I have not changed it. It's an initial remark.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, sir.
I am conscious. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so here the matter is that you have to be very careful while designing some of the activities for the students. So if it is activity, definitely they will engage in, because they don't have a practice of sitting in a corner. So see, in 1980s or 1990s, when you were a student, just remember the classrooms of yours. Now come to the classroom of yours, in which you are teaching. Just compare both the classrooms. What are the differences in Indian classrooms? I'm just talking about the normal university system. So I was a student in 1990s in schools, and you will also be like that in maybe 1980s or 1990s or 2000. So the classroom after 20 years or 30 years or before, compare the major changes. So very nominal changes we can identify. That I can identify. Let me tell you something. Earlier it was a blackboard. Now most of we have somewhere it is blackboard, but many are the green boards. Still we are using the chalks. Earlier it was a dust wala chalk. Now it is dustless chalk. Relatively dust is free. Dust free chalks we have. And the eraser is same eraser we have. Same table in front of the teacher. The things are kept over there. They are also sitting in a row. First bench, second bench, third bench. We have a usage of last benchers, first benchers. All these are same, common. You have a door in the classroom. You are closing the door sometimes, and students are coming with your permission, going with your permission. They are using same salutations. Good morning, sir. May I go to the here? May I go to that? May I go for this and that? So literally the procedural changes we don't have. Even the infrastructure is as such. Come now, you just take the pattern of dressing that you have, dressing pattern of 1990s or 2000 and 2023 now. So lots of changes in you changed a lot. You tried a lot of fashions, lots of trends in the dress. Your food habit changes. Food habit changes definitely. Some of you are following the same as such. Still, the practice changes. The pattern of recreation changes. Mobile phones changes. Earlier, when we were in the classrooms in 1990s, we were not having a mobile phones. Only in a few few houses of a village were having mobile phone. All the other people will be giving their numbers through letters, and they are coming to on a fixed date to get the calls, the receiver calls. So these were the practice. Now we have mobile phones. See the same classroom we have. So technically, we are not in a position to change the traditional things. Actually, that is what the students need. Lots of changes in the infrastructure, lots of changes in the peripheral as well as the structural things of the classroom. So we know that when outcomes are fixed, why don't we change the patterns? Now, when we come to the digital, these days we have digitals. So when we come to the digital, we know that it's a creative application of the technology. They engage us digitally, better reinforcement is getting, immediate feedback is getting. They help to actively creating rather than passively consuming. This is what of the what we call it as digital things. Now, when students have the digital mindset and the digital exposure, you are still with the traditional. Tradition has its own value. Chalk and talk method is in its own value. Lecturing is having its own value. I never deny that. It is wonderful. One of the teaching learning modality, one of the teaching modality is chalk and board method. If you're a mathematics teacher, chalk and board is essential. If you're an English language teacher, highlighting the words, writing something, structure of sentence, it's required the chalk and board. If you are a social science teacher, lecturing is essential, but never ever use it as the only modality of delivery of instruction. So when you're teaching, you should have multiple types of instructional delivery, like flipping we can use, blending. It's very common term that we use during the pandemic time. We started using the blending a lot, but where is the application of blending? How dare you to, what is the impediments before you to implement this kind of blending? What are the models of blending? Do we know the models of blending? We know that generally a blending, and UGC says that 40-60 blending is required, 50-50 blending is required. Now you started blending it. You started having a blended learning, but most of the blended learning is only the platform blending for us. Platform blending, that is, we were using the face-to-face classroom for sometimes, we were using Zoom or Google Meet sometimes. This is actually only a platform blending. You were available in the classroom, not available physically in the Google Meet. There is no other kind of blending we had done. Where is the interactivity blending? What about the media blending? What about the rotation? We are not at all exposed to or not at all practicing these kind of modalities of blending. We say that, okay, we are practicing 40-60 in the higher education, but we are comfortable in simply blending with the platform, face-to-face platform, and we have the Zoom. But if nothing is happening in the face-to-face classroom, we are presenting a PowerPoint and using a projector. In the online classroom, you are physically not available, but the PowerPoint is available. Only the condition is that connectivity and the electricity device, all these are required for the students. That is the only thing, but we call it as good blender. We mentioned that, okay, we are practicing the blended learning. Actually, when we look into the philosophy of the blended learning, the types of blended learning, how the lab rotation is possible, how the different modalities of blending possible. So we don't know that. We are just simply say that, okay, we are also practicing blending. Okay, now the point is that when we are having the digital, when we are having the other, that is the normally we called as a traditionally face-to-face classroom. So the matter is that how we are addressing the outcomes that we have. We have to talk about the remembering level outcome. We have outcomes at remembering level when we talk about the cognitive level taxonomy. We have remembering level outcomes. We have outcomes as understanding level. We are talking about applying level. We are talking about analyzing, evaluating, creating. These are the higher order. And many of our syllabus, you could look into the curriculum, you can also see all these levels. Remembering, you must have some observable words. Understanding, you must have written something. Applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Many of our universities will convert the earlier curriculum into outcome-based curriculum these days. So what is happening actually? What is happening actually? We have just made the objectives into outcome. We have started using the same kind of keywords, same kind of the so-called specification. Okay, well and good. But when it comes to the learning experiences for developing the specification or the measurable outcome in the creative level, creating level, what are the activities you are giving? Evaluation, what is your matter? What is your subject matter and the pattern of dealing the teaching learning through evaluation? Analyzing, how you are managing students to help them gain the capacity of analyzing. So these are the questions still. We are lecturing. Through lecturing, is it possible to have the capacity of analysis? Through simple lecturing, is it possible to develop the capacity of creating the specifications in creating, the action verbs in creating? Many of the time it's not possible. So we have to give the situation. Lab method can be practiced. How many of you are using the laboratory method? How many of you are using a field as a specific area? We are talking about the research, for example. If you're talking about a research, I'm also teaching research in my university. So if you're talking about research, if you're talking about survey, how many of you are giving survey directly come to the field? Okay, this is your locality. Okay, you are in the second year, you have first year students. Develop a scale, develop a tool, develop a questionnaire, come and implement it in the classroom, implement it in the administer among the first year students. Have a first-hand experience of developing a scale, developing a questionnaire, preparing the items of a test, work out exactly how it is practicing in the field. Many of us are not doing. We are just dictating scale and questionnaire. There are some differences. Questionnaire having single answers or test is having a single answer, but in a scale we don't have a single answer. Every answers will be getting some kind of weightage. It is in interval kind of measurement. We are teaching all these, but where is the practice? Where is the practical exposure for the people, students to administer, develop in the classroom? That kind of ideas, we have to use it. Similarly, flipping, let's come to the flipping. What is actually flipping? It is one of the very simple strategy for teachers to implement. At the same time, it is one of the highly effective strategy for the students, especially in higher education. At higher education, they don't want your lecture more. If it is social sciences, definitely they will never take the minimum lecture from you, the simple kind of things. For example, I'm from education. Many of you are also from education, I know that. So here, if otherwise also, so take an examples of micro teaching. Micro teaching is a training technique, skill training technique. We are scaling down the time, scaling down the resources, scaling down the content and the size of the classroom and practicing one by one the skills. It's micro teaching actually. I'm giving an example. So in the micro teaching, you are getting an exposure to various skills like we have introduction is a skill of teaching. Asking fluent question is a skill. Managing the response is another skill in teaching. Stimulus variation, ups and downs in your movement, ups and downs in your performance of the classroom. Voice modulation, everything is considered as the stimulus variation. Giving assignment is a skill. Writing on blackboard is a skill. Explanation in fluently, that is a skill. Illustrate with example is a skill. Asking thought-provoking questions is a skill. Concluding is a skill. Summarizing is a skill. Reviewing is a skill. Seeking the previous knowledge, asking the previous knowledge is another skill. Randomization is a skill of the classroom. Management of the classroom is another skill. So all these skill components we are practicing one by one in the classroom. If I explain all these one by one theoretically, what will be the meaning in the classroom? It should be an applying level, because we are applying it in the classroom. After, if it is a teacher education student, a student of B.Ed or student of D.Ed, we are talking about all these sub skills. If we are giving these skills, one, okay, applying, this is a skill, you can do this and that. This is another skill. Introduction is a skill. You can do, you can have stories, you can do this. If we are writing and reading or simply showing a PowerPoint presentation and explaining it, nothing will be as such improvement in the pattern of teaching of the students. They have to give exposure, practice it, practice and correct the mistake. It can be a method that you have. It can be a method that you can. Flipping is a wonderful, wonderful kind of platform or wonderful modality that you can use while teaching micro teaching, because anyone can read and write. If you are a B.Ed student, we are teaching a B.Ed level. Anyone can read and write the basics. There is no technical terms we have while explaining the micro teaching. Give a write-up in advance, maybe 1 week before or 2 days before. Give the text material, maybe some good reference material, some of the pages of book that you are referring to. You are finding out that this is very suitable for the level of B.Ed. So you are clipping some of that, taking some of the pics of the books, sharing it with the students. Just, it is not an exercise actually. If it is possible, give the videos, because you are a teacher. Some good teachers are also teaching micro teaching wonderfully. You can take the link of the video, considering the parameters of the copyright. You can take the link. Otherwise, you ask the permission of the people. Then share the link with students. After going through these, they will get an idea. That is our concern. Now see, flipping begins with instruction only. You have a resource now. You are giving the resource, because Tuesday you have a class or Wednesday you have a class. So Monday, today evening, you are giving all these material. Okay, 5 pages of the textbook. You have a clip and you made it as a single PDF, shared in the WhatsApp group. Now you took 2-3 videos from YouTube that is skillfully explaining about the teaching. You copied the link, pasted. Now you are giving, you have to give the task. Students, we have a discussion on micro teaching day after tomorrow. Wednesday, we are going to have a micro teaching based lesson in the classroom. So they got an idea, oh, micro teaching is going to be taught. Okay. Now students, a basic reading material is shared with you. You can immediately go through the reading material of 5 pages I have shared with you. The reference is this and this, book number, okay, SK Kochar, page number, this to this. This is the book number, book page number. If you have a book, you can refer to the book. Otherwise, go through the PDF that I am sending you. Okay, clear instruction. Next is read the material once, twice, or thrice till you are getting a basic understanding of the learning material. Next, in order to supplement your reading, you can also watch the video. These are some of the videos I've taken from the SWAYAM platform. SWAYAM videos I've taken from YouTube. Some other materials by some other exposure you will be getting from international experienced person. Some of the faculty member, he's teaching in Oxford University, Princeton University. Their videos are also given. You can watch the videos. So 2 days activity you have. Come on Wednesday, the time is 11 a.m. You can come to the classroom. Please make sure that you have the discussion points in the classroom. You are bringing the discussion threads to the classroom. This is the very good instruction that you are giving. Now, when Wednesday comes and 11 a.m., you are assembling in the classroom. Students are also coming. You are just run. Okay. Let us have a discussion. What is micro teaching? Can you tell me what is micro teaching, Ram? So he's explaining what is Ram. Can you explain what are the steps of micro teaching? What are the phases of micro teaching? What do you mean by introduction? It's a skill, it's a sub skill. Everything they will explain you, because you have already given the material. Half of the duty of the teacher gone. It is done because they have learned everything about micro teaching. Now the real learning happens because you were giving the factual information in the classroom through your lectures. Energy is going, time is going, students are not listening, they are not listening. These were the practice earlier. Now they, at their pace, at their convenience, they watched the video and they went through the text material and they got an idea about what is micro teaching all about. Now when they are entering the classroom, they have some critical questions. Okay, how do we practice micro teaching? Then if the skills are practiced, how would you integrate the teaching when it comes to a real teaching? What are the subcomponents of asking questions? Lots of thought-provoking questions they will raise in the classroom. That is actually the real learning. When the analyzing happens, evaluation happens, applying happens, it requires more and more thought-provoking questions, more and more inputs from the teacher-student interaction. So that is happening when flipping comes to the point. Otherwise, what happens is the reading and learning part will be happening in the classroom. You are lecturing, they are understanding something. But they will take all the questions. Okay, there is a time bound. Okay, 12 p.m. is 12 o'clock is okay. So I'm going. Next time we will discuss. Next time you are coming up with another content. There is no time for discussion. If it is flipping, then again a question. So if students are not coming with preparation, there's another question. Here the role of the teacher is to strengthen the value of evaluation. You started asking questions. Okay, you have not come up with you have not read the instruction. Why are you not responding me? I have already told you to learn about the micro teaching and steps of micro teaching. Why it is not available? So this kind of questions, if you started asking, definitely they will understand, okay, this is not the regular class. I have to prepare well in advance. I have to get ready well in advance. So as a common class, I cannot simply come with the material, simply come with the class and sleep in the class, or just simply daydream in the class. It's not possible. This is something special. I have to prepare well in advance. I have to ask questions. Before asking question, I should know what is the basics. If I don't have a question, they will ask me the question, so I have to respond. That kind of mindset will be developing among the students. This is one of the best platform, one of the best idea if you are practicing in the higher education. Never ever teach the basics in the higher education classroom. It is simply the reading and writing exercise. And now, see, when we are talking about this, is not simply the saving of time. When we talk about the 21st century skills, you know the 21st century skills. We are talking about communication. We are talking about the information literacy, talking about the resource literacy, media literacy. How do we get all these? We don't have any session in the class. We don't have any session in the school or college or university for teaching the 21st century skills. Rarely some of the so-called standard schools, they have the skill teaching, communication training, creativity classes, problem solving classes. They have some of the big schools. So the so-called big schools. I'm not naming as the big schools because people call it as big schools. So anyway, they have a standard methodology that we have to appreciate. Even though they are charging high fees, huge fee, they have a very good methodology that we have to consider that they are changing to a great extent. But actually, what is happening actually though? What is happening? 21st century skills in general classroom we are not teaching. Through the exercises, through the classroom interaction, students are getting the 21st century skills. Communication. What are the elements of communication? Language, listening, speaking, reading, writing. After graduating from your college or university, they are applying for a job abroad or some in the country. If you are from Kerala, if you are from UP, you are coming to Delhi for a job, for example. So the slang of the employer, the style of the employer may not be familiar to you. You are from a rural area, rural outskirts, and you have to immediately after graduation, you are forcefully, you came to Delhi for an interview. So the slang of the employer, the interviewer may not be familiar to you. All of a sudden, it's very difficult to answer some questions. When I was facing, I came to the Delhi for first time for my PhD. I also experienced the same. They were talking something else. I was not listening to exactly what they were talking about. I was not understanding. So similarly, it's actually a divide. There will be a divide. So if it is a flipping, you have lots of videos of lots of people. So you are getting an American accent. You are getting a British accent. You are getting an Indian, North Indian, South Indian. Various listening will help you to understand various usages. So easily you will also learn the part of communication indirectly. Even the flipping is about the micro teaching, but indirectly you are improving the communication of your student. Listening, reading is a communication. Writing, they are writing the notes. Precising, reviewing, understanding, all these are part of communication that indirectly you are teaching. Collaborating, if a class is a collaboration, that is happening. Problem solving is happening. Decision making, what is right and wrong, this is happening. So flipping is giving you lots of exercise. So this kind of exercise we have to have maximum. Another I have to tell you is, see, the learning style is another very significant component that we have to deal while talking about the experience in the classroom. What is actually learning style? What is learning style? All the students are not based on the same learning style. They are not following the same learning style. Some are auditory learners, some are visual learners, some are kinesthetic learners. Some are hybrid learners. They are lots of specialities. Some of you listen to the teacher. So they need lecture, they need instruction, they need direction, they need a voice message. Then they need to listen to you. You can give some of the content likewise. Some lectures you have to give because you have to satisfy the auditory learner. Some are visual learners. So how to deal the visual learners? You have to give the text. You have to give the notes. Notes means textual material. I'm not talking about the ready-made. That is the cooked one. Don't go for the cooking of the notes and as such giving for the students. Let them practice. Let them prepare. Let them precise it. Let them write the major points. Note taking is a very one of the best skills students have to have. If you are dictating the notes, you are killing the attitude. You are killing the skill of the students. Actually. Never ever go for dictating notes for the students, even though it is a standard format that you have. Some of the so very rarely we have the standard formats, like some of the methods we are writing. It's a standard format. Some of the operations we are writing a flow chart. So it's operation. For example, I can give an example. I also experience of the library science. If you are going to library science is a kind of discipline where many of the things are very basically the dictated types of things. So you have a common kind of things where you can use a not giving notes to students. Still, you have a lot of other mechanisms to follow. In some of the areas, it is to a great extent, it is requirement. Otherwise, in social sciences, especially in general behavioral sciences, so psychology, social work kind of things, never ever give a notes to student. Let them read, let them collaborate, let them precise something, let them concise from the reading material. Reading will happening, writing will be happening, paraphrasing happens, busy writing is happening. summarizing. All the skills will be developing indirectly among the students. That is what we require as a part of 21st century skill. Okay. Now, see, for the interactivity, in order to make it interactivity, lots of platforms we can use. I'm just mentioning some of the platforms here. Mentimeter is a platform, WooClap. I'm not giving you a practical exposure. You can also try with this. So skillfully use all these. Even though you are teaching offline classes, you can use Mentimeter as one of the device to supplement your discussions in the classroom. Write something, discuss with people, tell them to give their opinion, maybe some assessment, maybe some open-ended question, some of the opinions, some of the issues they have in the learning, even for asking the feedback. You can use Mentimeter, WooClap kind of exercises. So this is WooClap also. I'm just giving you WooClap, how to do that. Simply just mention wooclap.com. You can have, it's a free, most of the thing. If you need advanced things, you can sign up and purchase the advanced one. But for the normal teacher, we have everything here. You can simply sign up and register, create your presentation later. Presentation means lots of evaluation mode or interactivity mode things we have. One is multiple choice answer question. Another is a survey you can have in the classroom, or sometimes not necessarily in the classroom. After the classroom, these days we know that all our students are having exposure to mobile phones, that is the smartphones, internet. So we may not have the food, but we have the internet. That is the kind of people, students we have. They may be starving. They may not be eating for a day or two, but without internet, they cannot survive. That is the mindset of the new gen students. So because internet is everywhere, for everything, for movement, for everywhere we have internet, for food, for taxi, transportation, banking, educational institutions related things, application, fee, remitting fee, any kind of remittance we have, the electricity, water, everything we have the requirement of internet. So everywhere internet we have. Still a few cases we have in some of the rural outskirts, we have cases of not having internet. So in the case, you can give a relaxation that there is no hard and fast rule that today, now itself you have to finish. Go relax. If you get somebody with internet, you can do it in a week time. You can do it in a day time. So after reaching your classroom, your home, you can use the internet of some of the elders, related others at home. Such kind of exercises. Consider the plurality of society. We cannot enter some of the controversies. We have n numbers of religion, n numbers of languages we have, language minorities, caste, culture, religion, all types of minorities we have, diversities we have. Consider it, everyone is unique. They have their own practice. Rather spreading the hatred, we can take everyone together. That is a policy of teaching. Teacher should be a guide, mentor, philosopher. The philosopher is having a philosophy of inclusion, mainstreaming everyone, inclusion. It should be a never trust area, ever trust highlight of every classroom teacher, whether it is higher education, school education. We have to contribute. If they are suffering from something, we have to find out a collective solution from the group, take them into the group. Rather, exclusion is very easy. Marginalization is very easy. Deprivation is very easy. But getting all together, inclusion, mainstreaming, it's difficult, but it's very value. The value is highlighted. So every practice, whatever you are practicing in the classroom, make sure that my point is for including everyone. I'm not a cause for excluding someone. Maximum, I'm motivating everyone. I don't consider my religion. I don't consider my language. I don't consider my reputation, my profession, my grade, rank. I'm a professor, I'm associate professor, I'm assistant professor, tutor, lecturer, head of the department, head of the school, principal. Doesn't matter. Students are ultimately students, and you are there because of the students. If no students, you don't have a job. If no students, you will be expelled out, you will be thrown out. So make sure that they are the cause for you. They are the cause. So you are here because of them only. So make them included in the process of meaningful learning. When we come to the Mentimeter, it is having same kind of thing, just exactly looking like the book lab. It's Mentimeter. Now H5P is also a platform for interactivity. Lots of exposure we can do that. Now see, before going to that, there are Puzzle Maker. I'm just writing is puzzlemaker.com. You can also try Puzzle Maker. Puzzle Maker actually, even though it is higher education classroom, we have lots of technical terms every time. Theory and the proponents, books and the authors, some of the chemical names and the theory, the principle behind it, equations, calculations, serial orders, capitals, places, year. All these are some of the very specific things that we have in various disciplines. So puzzle, sometimes people ask, oh, puzzle for higher education, what the hell you are talking about? Puzzle is every time. If you're a learner, we know that Sudoku or the word games or the number games in the newspapers. Who learns it? Who is doing that? Most of the time, adults are used to have this because it's a kind of what we call it as it's an exercise. It's a kind of recreation. We are finding out when you are in a metro, in your railway, or in a bus, or in your own vehicle. Sometimes we will do that. Doing that, it's a kind of refreshing exercise we have in the morning. Sometimes many of the people, we can see that if you travel through the metro in Delhi metro, it's very familiar, very common that many seniors person they do that. So this kind of exercises we can give to the students. That is what I am giving you the thing, Puzzle Maker. So Puzzle Maker, there are sites, so you can go to the sites and find out some of the puzzles, and according to your subject, you can make use of the puzzles. It's one of the wonderful things for you. Lots of exposure you can try. Now MOOC is one of the very significant integration possibility. So I can tell you from my limited experience, for the last 5 years, I am integrating MOOC in my teaching. In the beginning of the session, I'll tell my students to learn any MOOC in the classroom. You have to learn. Last year, I started integrating with my teaching. So some of the platforms like Future Learn or Canvas Network or Udemy, Udacity, you can register for free. And for the certification, you can go for fee, payment of the fee many a time. Sometimes you will get free. But for learning, there is no cash, there is no money. So you can enroll, learn, have exposure to multiple ways of things. So what I mentioned is people will get precise note. People will get a detailed understanding of the things, how MOOCs are working. It's a motivation for doing MOOCs, developing MOOCs as well as for doing, for enrolling to some more MOOCs. How the value of the MOOCs in skill inculcation. That is also another learning. Second is the various kind of resources you are not getting from the books. So for an American scholar or a scholar from Netherlands, University of Leeds, he is doing some course. So you are enrolling for that. His exposure and experience, he has made as a note, learner lecture note. So you will get it. You are exposed to various style of speaking of various people. Netherlands, University of Leeds, University of Queen's University, Oxford, Cambridge, MIT, Minnesota University. All the universities are contributing, and their slang, their style of speaking, you will be getting. That is an exposure. If it is not very clear, you have a script upon the video. Near the video, you will get a script reading. Then you will get a kind of paraphrasing. You can tell the students that please make a note of your own. Never ever copy as such. Write a note of your own. Paraphrasing will be increasing. identifying the major point. This is a kind of note taking. So all the skill will be enhanced through this. So if you're teaching a linear algebra related one MOOC, 1 or 2 MOOCs, you just take it, tell the students, enroll for this, learn, come up with some of the solid evidences of your things, write some of the aspects of linear algebra, how to solve it. They will do that. So there are 2-3 kind of things you are doing. All the skills you are giving, they are getting sometimes a certificate. If they are completed, it is also mentioned as, okay, I have Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Samir has completed a MOOC on linear algebra offered by University of Cambridge. So this is, they will be getting a statement even though they are not getting a printed certificate. An e-certificate sometimes they will get. At least the course completion they will get. That is also you can write in the CV. This, then after this, they will also learn themselves. One or two of them will start learning themselves, not everyone. So that is also, you are giving acceleration to the dynamic learners, those who are high achievers, those who are learners with more and more exposure. You are giving more exposure to them. This is also happening through MOOC integration. So these are some of the meaningful experiences that we can give to the students in the classroom. Enrich the classroom, remove the maximum component of lecture from your class, make them engage, maximum assignment, maximum task, peer tutoring, encourage peer tutoring, encourage more presentations, critical questioning. If students are presenting, ask lots of questions to make them more clear about the content, more clear about the concept. Once somebody is presenting, ask the question to the listeners. They will be very attentive in the classroom because they will know that you will be asking the question. So you have to respond. So the meaningful presentation will be meaningful and the listening will be meaningful. They will also having a cross questioning. This will improve the kind of deliberations in the classroom. Meaningful, like meaningfulness of the experiences will be improved. So I hope that this is my end of my presentation. I hope that this must have given you some of the inputs. Please take some of the inputs. Please share some of your best practices. I'm here for another 20 to 15 minutes. If you have some queries, I'm happy to have. Thank you so much. So let us take a strong pledge that I will improve my presentation in the classroom with multiple sets of learning activities. So this will be a beginning of the new class for all of us. We are 39, including me. So we can take a strong decision for transforming the classrooms of India. We are the cause, not the head of the department, not the principal of the school or college or the vice chancellor of the university. They cannot do anything with your classroom. You are responsible for making your learning effective, making the class effective. So we can generate the fruitful learners further for better India. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for wonderful sessions. If anyone asks the question, the Samir sir is here. Yes. Anyone ask the question? Yes. No one want to question.
Yes, I'm happy to have some questions, and also you can share your practices if you have some good meaningful practices. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Participant give the feedback. Yes. I'll share my all recording after the training program, not tomorrow and after tomorrow. After the training program, I'll share the all video recording. If there are any questions regarding this presentation, you may ask, and otherwise we will end of this meeting. The participant, can you how to manage classroom? Somebody asked the Manjari
Yes, yes.
Agarwal.
Yes, yes.
How to
It's a general question. Still, I can tell you that managing classroom is a difficult thing many a time. Especially when we are talking about the school classrooms, it's very difficult to manage the classroom. Actually, why students are making the trouble in the classroom? The main point is that you are addressing the average only. When it is a school classroom, you are teaching average. So you are repeating, repeating, and repeating. So if you are repeating the same content once, twice, or thrice, those who are high achievers or those who are brilliant students of your class, they are just kind of oh, why she is repeating. It's a quite kind of boring. I know everything. I can tell you what it is, but they are restless in the classroom. They need more exposure. So give maximum task to the students, maximum questions. Prepare at least 1 year. You prepare maximum questions for your students. Maximum engagements. If one has finished the mathematics task, the others are still doing. So those who have done, they will start making the troubles in the classroom. So you can give another extra task for them, or assign them to teach the slow learners of your classroom. Such kind of simple strategies you can use. Or tell them to do something on the blackboard. Come, do on the blackboard. You have done it. So now similar kind of another exercise. Please come to the board and please do it. That also we can do it. So lots of extra activities you prepare as a teacher. Our activity is to prepare maximum questions in diverse ways, various ways. You can ask the question, what is micro teaching is a question. So you can also think in your subject area, can you make a lesson plan on micro teaching? It's another question. So if you make a lesson plan of micro teaching, how will you evaluate it? Can you make a rubric for evaluating a micro teaching? These are some critical questions you can prepare for the student. Similarly, for the very small classrooms also, you can do that. Okay, in the first you are teaching first standard, for example. In the first standard, you are teaching some of the very basic things. You are teaching animals and the spelling of animal: elephant, giraffe, bear, lion, tiger. So you started teaching it, and again you are repeating. You are using the chart. So still, those who know this, they will be start disturbing. So you can give an assignment. Okay, Mr. X, you can come. Can you write the name of 5 animals on the blackboard? Can you make a small pieces of paper? I'll give you paper. Write the name of the animals, and we can play after this. We can have a play. We can have a game, and we will take the lot from out of these 10 names of animals. We'll take a lot and we will play. So if you get a lot of tiger, you will be named as tiger. So you will be named as elephant. You have to act as elephant. So these kind of additional activities side by side you can give. Those who are finished, you can take them to one corner and give the task. Others will be doing. Give a motivation. If you finish it, you can also come to this group. So such kind of small tips you can use for managing the classroom. For the higher education also, we have that kind of tips. Doing some of the exercises, like I told you now, how to make a lesson plan for micro teaching in your subject area. If he's also done the lesson plan also, then you can give how to evaluate a lesson plan. What are the criteria to be taken while evaluating a lesson plan on micro teaching? So such kind of silly exercises you can write. When it comes to your mind, write it. Give the task, they will be engaged. Then nothing will be happening. For elderly students, I told you now, multiple reading material is one of the best example, because you have, if you are giving the direct notes, if some of the IGNO materials are available all the time for elderly people, for the higher education people, IGNO materials are one of the best notes. I also follow that. If you simply directly give the IGNO material, what happens is they are getting exactly the note. Even though it is interactive material, they will get it very neatly. So what we can do is we can give some of the journal articles related to that. So here thing is that they are restless because they are not having any activity. So they will be learning the structure of a research paper. They will be learning the style of a research paper. They will be learning the academic writing. They will be understanding out of this paper some of the very basic content. So these are the exercises they are getting. So wonderful. That way we can plan. So well in advance, plan many activities. Tell them to do this. Then definitely there will not be any disturbance in the classroom. Any other question? Yeah.
Yes, any other question? Okay, participant, kindly give your feedback regarding these sessions. I have given you 3 options: excellent, good, and average. So kindly write down in chat box how was this uh, training sessions. Okay, yes, simply Kambar, good, very good, ma'am, very good. Okay, good. Pooja Singh, good. Okay, 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 Neha. Okay, Millie, Iman, Ram, excellent, good, good, sir. Okay, everyone, we will see tomorrow on the next topic, counseling and guidance, his skills by Professor Mohammad Abid Aligarh University, Aligarh. And sir, what you say something and your concluding remark.
Yes, sir. Dear participants, so I was just giving you a kind of this input. We are the makers of the new generation that we know. If the idea that we have as teachers, that will be beneficial for our students. Through our students only. If you are very lazy enough to show something, very lazy to teach, definitely this is the value they are also getting. Oh, she was lazy, so I can also be lazy. Why I am just doing it? People are just modeling, imitating. So if you are teaching a B.Ed program, so they will also understand, okay, this is the way of teaching, so I can also adopt this. So if you are very fruitful in your classroom, they will adopt that also. So once you are okay, then only the next generation will be okay. So we can keep all this in mind and we can make the class more lively, meaningful, and effective. Thank you so much.
Sir, yes, someone asked, sir.
Yes.
Someone asked, it is fact that learner nowadays are exposed to different source of information. Because the advancements in technology, how can the teacher maintain his importance in the field of the education?
Okay, here actually now when the learners know everything, so you have to have a strategy of managing it. So critical questions, how to use it. So critically, we can use the knowledge source to make it more fruitful to the other learners. If a group of learners, they know everything, they are social to lots of media, then you can get their expertise while you are teaching. You can also make their expertise in teaching. They are considered as a peer teachers, peer tutors with you. So they will also teach. It's a kind of participatory teaching we can try. And whether they are having exposure to right media, that we have to check it. And we also have to prepare well in advance when they are getting, so how to change my modality. Otherwise, if I am also doing the same thing, people will not be having interest in the classroom. So you have to change the methodology, you have to have lots of strategies to make it a different.
Okay. I request all of participants kindly open their camera. Open their camera. I request all the participants. Actually, I want to take a snapshot. Yes. Yes, open your camera. Actually, I want to see everyone and take a picture. Yes, I think no one else. Yes. Yes, Siddhika Jabir, Reena Beryl, Shiva Ali, Norex Punika, Mutabli, Mona Devi, and all of please open your camera. Okay, thank you very much everyone for coming this wonderful sessions. We will see you tomorrow on the next topic. Thank you very much for coming this session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Okay.